Let's take a look at the external anatomy of the spinal cord. In adults, the spinal cord does not extend the entire length of the vertebral column. During early childhood, both the spinal cord and the vertebral column grow longer as part of the overall body length. But at about age 4 or 5, the growth of the vertebral column continues while the spinal cord stops growing in length. So the spinal cord ends as a cone-shaped structure called the conus medullaris, which we can see here, and it is found at the level of the intervertebral disc between the first and second lumbar vertebrae in adults. As a consequence of the spinal cord ending at the level of the first and second lumbar vertebrae, the nerves that come out of the spinal cord at the lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal regions leave the spinal cord, and then they move inferiorly, and then they exit out from the vertebral column. Because these nerves move down and then out, they form something that is called the cauda equina, or a horse's tail. Let's now take a look at a little more detail of the external anatomy of the spinal cord and the corresponding spinal nerves. As we can see from this diagram, there is a posterior root of a spinal nerve. There's an anterior root of a spinal nerve, and then there's the spinal nerve itself. So each spinal root, both the posterior and the anterior root, is a collection of axons that attach to the spinal cord. As we can see from this side of the diagram, the posterior or dorsal root has what is called the posterior or dorsal root ganglion. And what this is a collection of cell bodies of sensory neurons. The anterior or ventral root contains motor neurons, as we can see from this diagram, as it indicates the nerve impulses travel out to skeletal muscles.